Hello everybody and welcome to Digitalks, where I discuss topics surrounding Digimon. Today we have a special lore video with the announcement of Digimon Time Stranger, which will involve the Iliad server, and honestly I'm very excited for this. So I figured it's a good idea to go over the Olympus XII, the Iliad, and just the lore surrounding them. Now, as you can probably tell, the Olympus XII and the Iliad server are based on the Greek gods of mythology, though the primary Digimon actually use the Romanized names. The Olympus XII is made up of Apollomon, Bacchusmon, Ceresmon, Dianamon, Junomon, Jupitermon, Marsmon, Mercurymon, Minervamon, Neptunemon, Venusmon, and Vulcanusmon. That said, these are not the only Digimon relevant to the Iliad server. We have had Plutomon, Titamon, Aegeomon, and Race Novamon, who aren't part of the Olympus XII, but are native to the Iliad server. But what is the Iliad server? Well, the Iliad server is another server of the digital world, though it is separate from the one that King Drasil rules. The Iliad server is run by the host computer Homeros, which you may recognize as named after Homer, the writer of the Odyssey and the Iliad. Homeros, however, is not concerned with right or wrong so much as just living free. A lot of information about Homeros comes from Digimon New Century and Digimon Crusaders, where Digimon New Century is a smartphone game that has only been released in China, unfortunately. And real quick, I just gotta say, can we please start getting these games some love and fanfare over in the States? Like, just looking at some of the art for this game, just I'm in love with this, please. Anyway, back to talking about Homeros. Being the host computer of the Iliad, Homeros is responsible for the management of the entire server. He formed the Olympus XII to directly oppose the Royal Knights that King Drasil had formed, and that's kind of as much info as we have of Homeros. At most, Homeros is often just mentioned and not directly involved. The most we hear, as I said, is from New Century, and even that information I can find is mostly stories Homeros was relevant to, but not interacting with. Now, while the Digimon of the Olympus XII have existed since before the Iliad server had ever been mentioned, the earliest direct reference I can find to the Iliad server is Digimon Crusader, or Digimon Heroes as we know it in America, released 2016 and terminated in 2017. Though, I should mention that's just the American release. It's actually, it was initially released in 2012 in Japan. It was a card game style mobile game, which, looking over the slightly confusing description, seems to be a bit of a card matching game. Without experiencing it, I can't really say what it was or what it was like. The point is, though, that this is the earliest reference I can find about the Iliad server. There is a section of this game that follows Aegeomon, which was just Jupitermon with amnesia in his champion form and not his mega form. Aegeomon ends up fighting the Olympus XII, Titamon, Minotaurumon, and even Plutomon. There's references to Homeros, Iliad server, and the Olympus XII are all blatantly just being made here. And mind you, this is based on rough translations of images. I can't read Japanese, which they're all in, but I'm going off the translations that are provided with those images. Before that, we also had a reference of V-Jump to the Olympus XII that listed Minervamon as a member of the Olympus XII, and the earliest reference I can find to the Olympus XII itself is back in Data Squad, which ran from 2007 to 2008, with Mercurymon, who's explicitly stated to be a member of the Olympus XII. Now, real quick, I just want to say, first off, Mercurymon is referred to as Marukimon in Data Squad, which was a little bit weird. And other than that, while there have been appearances of the Olympus XII, a lot of the time, them being Olympus XII doesn't have any story implications. It's just that that's the faction they're from. So I'm not really going to talk about a lot of those. But I threw out a bunch of names earlier. And who are those individuals? What is their relation to the Iliad or to, Greek or Roman mythology? Well, the connections are fairly obvious. Apollomon based on Apollo. Bacchusmon is based on Bacchus or Dionysus. Ceresmon is based on Ceres or Demeter or Demeter. I'm not sure how to pronounce that one. Dianamon is based on Diana or Artemis. Junomon is based on Juno or Hera. Jupitermon is based on Jupiter or Zeus. Marsmon is based on Mars or Ares. Mercurymon is based on Mercury or Hermes. Minervamon is based on Minerva or Athena. Neptunemon is based on Neptune or Poseidon. Venusmon is based on Venus or Aphrodite. Vulcanusmon is based on Vulcanus or Hephaestus. Plutomon is based on Pluto or Hades. Titamon is based on the Titans. And Grace Novamon is based on Meleager, who isn't a god, but is actually a hero of Greek mythology. There's also Minotauromon, who's based on the Minotaurs, and Aegeomon, who seems to be based on Aegipan, the son of Zeus, who's commonly represented similarly to satyrs. The name of Aegeomon, however, could also be a reference to Jove Aegiocus, which fully mispronounced. Now, there are a few separations from their inspiration. For example, Apollomon holds domain over the sun instead of arts and knowledge. Dianamon holds the domain of water and ice instead of hunt or wild game like Diana and Artemis do. Ceresmon, the domain of fertility, which technically isn't correct, as Ceres or Demeter are goddess of harvest. The rest, however, are fairly in the same zone. Bacchusmon being the domain of wine, Junomon over marriage and childbirth, Jupitermon over the sky, thunder and weather, Marsmon over the domain of war, Mercurymon over diplomacy, Minervamon over strategic warfare, Neptunemon over the sea, Venusmon over love, and Vulcanusmon, similarly to Ceresmon, is technically correct, being the domain of smithery, which Hephaestus is the god of metalworking, and basically what smithing is. Plutomon, not a direct member of the Olympus XII, is also the ruler of the dark area in the Iliad server. Now, earlier I had mentioned that the Olympus XII were put together to directly oppose the Royal Knights, but with the Iliad server being separated from the Yggdrasil server, why is there a conflict? Well, King Yggdrasil really doesn't like the Olympus XII, but in Digimon New Century, there's actually a whole storyline where the Olympos XII are trying to find a new server they can go to, as the Iliad server is starting to collapse. So they head to Yggdrasil to check on everything, and it's there that the four great dragons decide to kind of deceive them by having Megidramon turn into Chaos Gallantmon to pretend to be Gallantmon. And once the deceit is revealed, a debate happens between the dragons and the Olympos XII, where they find out that King Yggdrasil and the Royal Knights have disappeared. Now, again, the Olympos XII had actually come here just to figure out if this world could survive collapse, and instead the four great dragons, as well as the four sovereign Digimon, decided to turn it into a bit of an all-out war that ended with Megidramon losing control as Megidramon X in the Iliad server, and then coming back and the portal being sealed so that the Olympos XII can't cross over into Yggdrasil. The four great dragons then begin to attempt to rebuild the Yggdrasil server, and that's kind of it. So we don't have too much info on the Olympus XII, who they are, who Homeros is, and what the Iliad is. We only have so much. Hopefully this gets us prepared somewhat for the upcoming Digimon Time Stranger game. I have some theories of things that I'll be discussing with Van on an episode of Discussionmon, so make sure you're looking forward to that. Make sure you're subscribed if you're new here so you don't miss it. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. Maybe let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Anything I missed, anything you'd want more information on, let me know down below. I'm live on Twitch and YouTube all but Monday and Wednesday, and the Discord will be down in the description as well if you'd like to join in some active discussions. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.